And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of Watch What Now. It is the podcast where we watch the good, bad, and everything in between. And at times, it is my wonderful co host little journey into the horror genre. And speaking of co hosts, I am Eric from Hey Internet. Eric here with me is my wonderful co host and someone I consider a good friend. She's an AVN Hall of Famer, a former radio show host, and well, after watching tonight's subject, she might think that has something to do with her new riding lawnmower incident. Miss Melissa Hill. Melissa, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you. Sorry for being late. Tonight it was a choice between clean hair or makeup, and I chose clean hair. Sans makeup. So excuse my my appearance. I just saw it on the YouTube thing. Whoa, boy! I think I might need to put a hat on.
You look fine, my lord.
It's the big five head.
Hey, like I said, I wear a hat for a reason, so don't worry about that. It's been a while. We've had both had some interesting things going on. My daughter turned 14, and I had to deal with a slumber party, and I survived that. You let's see, at the end of episode 15, when you braved watching the Zuni fetish style again, you were prepping for Exotica. How did Exotica turn out for you in Chicago?
I don't, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was, I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think I was expecting what I saw.
Okay.
To be honest, and I'm pretty confident that I can say the same thing for all the other ladies that were in the booth with, that I shared booth space with. We had Lisa Centrise, Leslie Winston, Lisa Sparks, Diana Loren, myself, and stop it. And anyway, stop it. That's Teddy, the mascot.
Yep.
And, I guess it was like, all of us, we haven't been to one of these in 30 years, but I'll just say it seemed like it was more of a lifestyle convention than it was an adult movie industry convention. So, so I guess it would be fun. They had a lot of things going on. We were right next to the stage.
Yeah.
So literally, like, finally, the last day, Sharon Mitchell went up to the DJ at the stage and asked if they could turn the volume down a little bit because we couldn't hear ourselves think.
Yeah.
And, people will come and talk to us and stuff. But I mean, I'll definitely do it again because I created a whole bunch of stuff to sell. So I don't know when I'll do it again, but and then I had people come up and be like, looking at my pictures, and they're like, which one are you?
Wow.
That one. Yeah. And it's like, wow, that really, I don't know. I mean, even a few years ago, people were like, well, you look exactly the same. That's why you go, because I have red hair.
Yeah.
And now that I've let my hair grow out, and I went and I had red extensions put into my hair just so people weren't totally shocked. Like,
Yeah,
oh my God, she's the silverhead person now.
Yeah, Barb loves the red streak, she says.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep them in. Someone at the grocery store the other day at the co-op said I looked like a sparkling watermelon.
Okay. We're gonna take that as a compliment.
Yes. So yeah. So anyway, I spent more money doing this to my hair than what I came home with from Exotica. So if that gives you an idea.
You know what? Hey, it got you out of the house. That's how I would look at it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It got me out of the house. I got to meet some really nice people. People that I, now consider friends. Good. And became closer with Diana Loren and Sharon Mitchell. The other ladies I hadn't met previously. So it was really great meeting them as well. It was fun. It was
Good.
fun. It was, I probably was a lot more nervous than I needed to be. Anyway,
Mhm.
long answer to a short question. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. One thing that we created or we came up with as a new idea for the show is we basically entitled it AI Says What. And what that is we have gone to, or I've gone to all of our previous episodes here on YouTube and gotten like I guess you'd say an AI summary of what we've discussed. And it all started with Melissa accidentally doing that with our leprechaun episode. So we thought it would be fun to do this with all previous episodes to A, entertain ourselves, and B, maybe do a little shameless self promotion to
Right.
see what our show is about.
Well, I noticed that the AI Says What um, segment has led to your creativity with the AI pictures, which I think are hysterical.
They have been
So,
a lot of fun doing. They're
yeah,
a pain in the ass for
yeah,
sure. They
okay.
are because well, sometimes they're super easy. Like the one for today's episode was just I just put in add me and my friend and I send in pictures of us and have us acting out a scene of Maximum Overdrive. And it was us in the car being chased by the truck. But sometimes they do have a problem with copyright. So me and Melissa bonded years ago over a review I did of the Star Wars Holiday Special, and it's been an ongoing joke between the two of us, and that is something we will eventually discuss. So, but I thought Melissa needed a laugh, and so I sat down and made one, and it's just us hanging out with the Wookiee family. She looks disgusted, and I look bored, but that was a pain in the butt because it does say with AI, sometimes you have to word things differently to get around copyright. So I had to change Chewbacca to Wookiee, this to that, that to this. But I
Okay.
think it came out really fun, the one that I showed you. And I did do
Yeah.
I did one of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, which it was just us at a Kiss concert with the Phantom. Like the Phantom that's not really in the movie is in the background type of thing. So they are fun and I think they bring a little more fun to our little show as well. I'm glad you like them. I know Barb and Patrick, they're in the chat. They really enjoy them too.
Should we explain why you chose those two films to
I'm trying to.
go off schedule? You don't remember?
No, do I?
Okay, so after your review of the Star Wars Holiday
Mm-hmm.
Special,
Right.
we were on Twitter bantering back and forth. This is back when I was like on Twitter 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and somehow or another, the conversation came up of what was I said I could top that movie. I don't know. Is it worse than Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park?
That's right.
So we had this whole like online conversation. Other people joined in of like,
Mm-hmm.
what did they, So then one of our friends who was actually at Exotica, James,
James, yep.
recorded a copy of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park and sent it to you so that you
Mm-hmm.
could watch it at your leisure.
Yeah. And it took me a good couple of years to
Like
get
5 years?
yeah, okay.
It took like
More
5
like five
years.
than a couple of years, but I did do it and I did I was probably half in the bag and I was giving you a running commentary during that viewing and yeah, it was definitely an experience that I still remember a little bit of. So I'll say that.
I
So,
guess
but
that was the seed of this idea for the show that we're doing now.
I think it was because I know it was, we wanted to get together just to discuss the substance. And then eventually, I think you put it on one of your Facebook pages. You also wanted to not just do horror movies, but you also just wanted to do like the worst movies people could think of.
Yeah.
And that's where we ended up getting The Room and Leprechaun. And thanks, Shelly, thrown our way and stuff like that. That's where Maximum Overdrive came up, which we're going to get to. Yeah, it's just been fun, fun 16 episodes and a very interesting 16 episodes. And
Phantom of the Sorry, I'm
no, you're
reading
fine.
the messages, the comments.
Kiss Meets the yeah, that's Keith Gorfo. Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. It wasn't boring and it was fun, but I don't know if great is the technical term, but that's just me. And again, I was also, I was not fully sober when I watched, but I remember having fun. The only thing I really remember is I think Ace Frehley was getting in a fight with the robots, and the stunt double was a black actor, and they didn't even edit out the black actor's face on the screen, and it's one of those movies. So it's definitely a movie perfect for this show, which we'll get to sometime.
It might have been the inspiration for a particular scene in the movie Orgasmo.
Yeah, oh God, I just thought I know exactly what you're talking about.
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay, so anyway, all right. So are you going to read the next AI
Yes.
says what? Okay.
All right, let's compose ourselves. This is a professional show here. So AI says what this is for episode 2. We did Train to Busan, and AI says what it says. In the second episode of the Watch What Now podcast, Eric and Melissa discussed the 2016 South Korean hit film Train to Busan. The duo explores the emotional impact, intense survival sequences, and the unique characteristics that set this apart from other zombie films. Key discussion points were character dynamics. The host analyzed the relationship between the workaholic father and his daughter, noting how the film effectively builds emotional stakes. Zombie mechanics. They discussed the film's depiction of fast zombies, the transition from human to infected, and the unique behavior of zombies in the dark. And then memorable scenes where the hosts highlight several standout moments, including the double-jointed zombie movements, the suspenseful crawl through the train cars. I remember Melissa Hill. Melissa, she did her own little. She showed what we were talking about in the scene. Let's see here. And the suspenseful crawl through the train cars and the emotionally heavy finale featuring the song Aloha Oi. And the production value, Melissa and Eric touch upon the precision of zombie performers, possibly influenced by dance backgrounds, and you pretty much confirmed that you thought they were at least ballet dancers of some sort, and the effective use of music to heighten intensity. Both hosts recommend the films, with Melissa noting it was an unexpectedly emotional experience for her as a newcomer to the horror genre.
Wow,
So,
AI makes us sound really professional.
no, I like that. So you know what? If you don't know if it seems like we don't know what we're doing when you're watching us live, AI knows better. So
I can't wait until we start getting into the episodes where we start talking about other things other than just the movie.
Yeah.
To see what AI has to say about that.
Yeah, well, the next AI says what is all about the room. So that is definitely gonna be some interesting talk, because we also had Neil on with that one, and I did look, because I have to look to upload them to the computer, and there is definitely, and I won't give anyone any context if they have never seen the room, there's definitely a lot of football and belly button sex talk in the AI says what.
I love the new AI thumbnail though that shows us playing catch.
Yes, and it's actually Neil like giving this mean look as he's supposed to be Tommy, because he's wearing the black shirt and everything.
Okay.
All right.
So on with
the show. This is episode 16, and I don't remember how this happened. I was trying to. Let's see here. I know what it was. I didn't know what to pick for tonight's episode, so I gave my daughter 3 choices. And she said this one sounded weird because it's all about cars and different machines coming to life. Thanks to Stephen King. Today we are discussing Maximum Overdrive. We're back in Stephen King territory, and Melissa, I can guarantee that this is much different than your experience with Carrie in episode 4.
Yes. Yes, but I will be honest though, like watching the movie, knowing that I have to talk about it, and and I have to find something to pick apart or whatever. I towards the end of the movie, I was kind of thinking, would I be sitting here watching this if I didn't have to right now? and I honestly, I couldn't come up with an answer for that.
Like, see, that's not a no. That's not a no.
Like, would I just, if it was on and I was off doing other things in the house and I walked into the TV room and it was on, and would I sit and watch it, or I'd be like, oh my God, or would I turn it? I probably would watch it.
Well, you know what? All right. Well, you're not showing your cards yet, but I can already tell you enjoyed this a lot more than Leprechaun and Winnie the Pooh. If you actually said you would sit down and watch.
It was still stupid, but I'm just saying that, like, I would probably watch it to pick apart, to see how much other stuff I could like pick apart. I mean, there was one thing, I'm all about continuity or whatever. And so, the beginning of it says it takes place in 1987, where the Earth intersects with a comet or something like that. And
where we like pass through the tail end of some type of comet, and that's what's causing everything to happen.
Okay. So, during one of the scenes that involved a truck,
of course,
there was a an inspection tag on the windshield, and the windshield said 1985. Well, it didn't say 1985. It said 85. And I was going to write that down, like, well, that's a problem right there. Someone clearly wasn't paying attention. But then I was like, okay, putting myself into the movie, does it mean like every, all the things that happen only took place with registered vehicles? Maybe this was like a broke down Mack truck that was sitting in the bushes somewhere, which, there's quite a few around here in Vermont, just hiding in bushes or on people's property. And, so I let it go.
Look at you. You're finally starting, after 16 episodes, you're finally starting to suspend disbelief. Good for you.
Thank you. Although, all right, there is a scene that we get to. Let me see if I even wrote it down. Well, it's the one when it takes place at the Little League Park. So when we get there, I'll make my comment about it.
Okay, yeah. Johnny, another good friend of mine, says the sign of a good movie reviewer. This movie stinks, but I'm going to watch it all so I can pick it apart. And that's so. As I said, where we are watching Stephen King's discussing Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive, the movie that Stephen King himself said he was so drunk and coked out when he made it that he doesn't remember anything. And this was like, he was so bad, like if there wasn't alcohol on set, he would be guzzling like a Listerine and stuff like that. That's how bad Stephen King was in his addiction at this time. And he still put together, air quotes, a movie. So we'll give him that. So we start off, like you said, we have our little text where the Earth is passing in through the tail of a comet, and we're supposed to be within the comet's tail for like 8 days, 27 minutes. They really describe how long we're in the fucking tail's comet. It's like 8 days, 27 minutes, 35 seconds, something like that. And then we find out we're in North Carolina, and we're at a bank, and this is one of a fun scene where it just says like, the time, and it says the temperature, and then that changes to telling everybody fuck you. And then you have someone walking up to the ATM, which was Stephen King. I didn't know if you knew that was Stephen King. He's the guy.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yep. He's the one who tries to get money out, and then the ATM just keeps calling him an asshole. And then we had this giant montage. Like, you could tell this is an AC/DC soundtrack. We have this giant montage of cars going to a giant bridge, and it's AC/DC's Who Made Who played, and suddenly we have the bridge is starting to open, and there is no boat coming in between, and it's just causing this good 5-minute scene of chaos where no one dies. Cars are crashed, people are flying through windshields, a guy is falling off a motorcycle in slow motion into the water, crates of watermelons are being destroyed, and that's a scene. That's it.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I mean, I was like, oh wow, they get into the action early. Like, they didn't hesitate in this film, as unlike some of the other ones that we've reviewed, where it's like halfway through the movie before disaster strikes. Yeah. What did I write? Let's see. Okay. I wrote machinery goes haywire, starts taking blah 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 blah. Emilio. Okay, so all right. I found that the use of the melons was a great way to show what could happen if heads were smashed.
Yeah.
It was, you kind of get the idea. Like to
Mm-hmm.
me, I was still kind of like, ew, that's gross, because I was envisioning this what could be happening if these were bodies and
Mm-hmm.
heads and all that other stuff. So I thought the use of melons was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. That's what you do when you have no budget. I mean, we even when we do get to some of the deaths, it's pretty quick. So I think the goriest scene might have been the melons, if you ask me.
Right. I mean, later in the movie there was the rental that there was the crop duster airplane, there was the school
Mm-hmm.
bus. So, and I'm sure he had to pay all those drivers for
Mm-hmm.
the trucks.
Yeah,
So probably Teamsters.
yeah, I would believe so.
I wonder if the
So
mob was involved in this movie. Anyway.
so we end up at the Dixie Boy truck stop, which I learned was built for this movie, and I guess it
You're
was so.
kidding.
Yeah, it wasn't a real place, and I guess they eventually had to put signs out front because real trucks were stopping there to get gas and to get food, and they had nothing to serve them, type of thing. So that was really cool. But I guess that's how realistic this and how full on this little truck shop was when it comes to like the outside appearance and stuff like that. They just made it strictly from the ground up, and I thought that was neat that it fooled real life truck drivers.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought that it was already an abandoned truck stop, and that the production did them a favor by destroying it at the end. That also seems plausible to me.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Emilio, I forget the name of his character. They called him Hero or something.
He was Bill.
Oh, I would have never guessed that, because
It's
I mean,
generic. You can call him
okay.
Emilio. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him. So Emilio is a cook in a southern diner and
Mm-hmm.
also a parolee. So
Yep.
we get the first inkling of what an asshole the boss man is
Mm-hmm.
when he talks to Emilio's character about working 9 hours but only punching in for 8. So
Right.
basically getting a free hour. So yeah. They always say that hiring prisoners is like slave labor.
Mm-hmm.
So that emphasized that fact. So right away there's no love lost between those two.
Yeah.
And then almost go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say yeah, and to make this guy seem even more like just like kind of a bumpkin, like Bill. We'll call him Emilio, but they gave the guy the boss name. His name was Bubba, and he called everybody Bubba.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that part. I
Yeah.
think only learned that Bubba's name was Bubba when it showed the license plate on his vehicle. All right. So the first sign of, well, okay, aside from the bridge thing that happened, and all the knobs turning on their own,
Mm-hmm.
the first sign of horror or gore, I think, was when the waitress was preparing, a meal for someone, and the electric meat cutter. What were those? I remember everybody had those. Those
I think they
those
were
were like,
just called electric carving knives. I think they
or
were.
electric knife. That's what it was,
Yeah.
an electric knife.
Mm-hmm.
So the electric knife turns on by itself, and it slices her arm,
Mm-hmm.
and blood is everywhere. And at first I was like, how come they didn't send her home?
Well, I have an answer for you for that, because to find out how much more Bubba is an asshole, we're meeting all the characters. Wanda June, she was the waitress, and there is the gas station attendant named Duncan, and he's filling up the diesel truck. I think it's the Green Goblin truck that's driven by Andy, and no more gas is coming out. And just like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon, he literally so fucking dumb. He literally looks down at the barrel of the fucking gasoline
starts blowing
hose,
in it.
starts blowing in it, and then like Elmer Fudd getting shot in the face, he gets blinded, and we have this whole scene. He's blinded, yada yada yada, and then the other attendant, his name is Joey. He's talking to Bubba, and to prove how much Bubba is an asshole, not sending Wanda June home. He's like, "What? He got diesel in his eyes? Is that all?" That's all Bubba says concerning Duncan. So he's already this big piece of shit. But Duncan is still dumb as hell, literally looking down the nozzle of that hose. So I'm not saying he deserved it, but I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
he's definitely they're definitely not helping the stereotype of Southerners in North Carolina in the 80s.
I do want to. I want to point out though that this screenshot looks kind of like something else.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right.
That's something maybe we'll have at the next Exotica for you to sign.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we have that. We had the arcade. There's a guy, and he's in the arcade. The arcade machines are going crazy. Cigarette machines. Well, again, remember cigarette machines where you had the little knobs and stuff back in the 80s? I used to play with those in restaurants all the time.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, those are going crazy. Wanda June gets attacked. And then you got the two assholes. They're still calling her, like, the customers are like calling her Sugar Plum and stuff like that after she nearly loses her arm.
Yeah.
And then now we cut, because this movie does a really good job of introducing the characters, but the problem is we have to get all the characters to the Dixie Boy. So one thing happens, and then it cuts to this, and then it cuts to this. So after Wanda June is attacked by the carving knife, we're at the Little League game. And this is something you wanted to point out. So I'll let you take the Little League game scene.
Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, we're at the Little League practice game, whatever it is. And and the coach goes to the soda machine to get sodas, and it's not working. And in the background, you hear, "Oh no soda!" "Oh, out of soda, that sucks," or something like that. Which I don't know if anyone else caught that, but I guess it wasn't just the soda machine, but like you could literally see the people's hands behind the machine, like throwing stuff out. You could see their hands when they were doing it with the cigarette machine. You could see with the
I never noticed.
You could see the little shadows of the hands of like people. Like, I mean, that's what it looks like to me, of people either loading it into something to toss out, or but I mean, like with the money, it did look like someone was literally back there just like pushing money through. But yeah, so what I found interesting was that there was no everyone was open game. They killed kids, they killed women, they killed men. So yeah, the soda machine, hits the coach in the face, so he dies. And then, the hero kid, who turns out to be the son of one of the guys who's at Dixie Boy.
His dad was the doofus that looked down the gasoline hose.
Okay. I thought his dad was the other
nope.
a different guy. Oh, okay. Yeah, because then he ends up getting like plastered. Doesn't he get smashed by one of the trucks?
Yeah, because the kid's name is Deke. The kid's name is Deke, of all things. And another thing to prove that Bubba's an asshole is Duncan wants to go find his kid. And he gets up and he wants to go, I gotta find Deke. And Bubba.
No. He keeps saying, I gotta find my kid.
Okay, I gotta find my kid. And Bubba threatens to fire him over, of all things, just because he's already been blinded, and they know the machines are going crazy. They know something's up because the man in the arcade has just been killed, and Bubba's just like,
they're trying to hide the bodies too.
Yeah, they're hiding all the bodies in the basement. So that makes me wonder something about Bubba too. And he's just, you leave here, I'll fire your ass type of thing. So the guy's blind, wants to find his kid, but you're worried about, it's not like the motherfucker could do anything. He can't see, so he can't work on any cars or anything like that. But you still don't want him to leave early. You not just want to, steal that 1 hour from Emilio. You want to make sure the blind guy doesn't leave work early to go find his kid.
Right. So back at the baseball field. Anyway, so the Deke kid is smart enough. He puts a catcher's mitt on so he doesn't get hit in the face with the can. And as he's running away, you see like there's other child casualties on the field. And I was like, oh my God, they actually killed kids. And then they don't stop there. They bring out a bulldozer and
steamroller,
and literally flattens a kid. I was a little, I was like, that's something you don't see on TV these days, unless it's The Walking Dead, which by the way,
Mhm.
I could have sworn that like everywhere that they filmed, all the many places where they filmed tonight's movie, Maximum
Mhm.
Overdrive, all look like um, locations used in the Walking Dead universe.
Mhm.
And okay, I know I'm jumping a little bit.
No, go ahead.
So okay, I'm skipping past the hitchhiker and all that other stuff. So still sticking on to kids. So the kid starts riding his bike, I guess, to the Dixie Boy
Mhm.
and Dixie Boys, and he's riding his bike through the neighborhood,
Yep.
and he's seeing like random dead people everywhere, hanging
Yeah.
out of windows, hanging out of cars, um, lying in the trees with their feet sticking out. And I was like, I swear to God, I'm like, Walking Dead, Walking Dead, Walking Dead, Walking Dead. It just reminded me of the first episode of The Walking Dead where
Mhm.
Rick, goes home
Mhm.
from the hospital and oops, pen stuck in my hair. Rick goes home from the hospital and he, sees all these random dead people
Mhm.
in their yard. So it definitely reminded me of that. And it was kind of funny too because it added some lighthearted stuff because all the sprinklers went off as the
Yep.
kid was passing them. And then when he turns around and looks, they all shut off.
That was this is my favorite scene. I love the scene where the sprinklers go on and then Deke turns around, they turn off. They're playing with their food kind of thing, and we see the different victims and stuff like that, and he has to hide from the ice cream truck that is driving by itself and it's playing King of the Road, and then
My
he's
tasty ice
that's
cream
right,
truck.
that's right. And what sets him off? He knows he has to get out of there because now he's getting chased by a lawnmower. And Melissa, as you learned personally, you just have to be careful of dealing with lawnmowers. So we'll leave it at that. But that is my favorite scene. And we jumped over Brett and the hitchhiker, Brett the hitchhiker, and the creepy Bible salesman because there really isn't much to that scene. It's just him being a creep, putting his hand on her, calling her sugar plum and stuff like that. And they almost get run over by the toy truck, the Green Goblin truck, and Andy is the truck driver of that truck, and he says he still has the keys. So we're now, if you couldn't figure it out, not yet, the machines are doing this themselves. So
Right. Let's see. I was a little shocked. The kid didn't really react to what I would think a child would after seeing so many dead people, though. But it's a
it
movie.
was it was also the 80s. He's probably seen a lot worse on TV and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's a different time.
I love the comment in here. It says another got hit by cans of Coke, just like Stephen King did.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely took his hits of coke. That's for sure. You gotta. The trailer is insane. He literally has cocaine eyes when he's trying to introduce the movie in the trailer. I'll have to send it to you. I would play it here, but YouTube is weird on copyright, so I don't want to get the video taken down.
Okay.
But then we get introduced to the worst part of my movie, or excuse me, my worst part of the movie, and that is Connie, played by Yeardley Smith.
Aw, did she ruin Lisa Simpson for
She
you?
didn't ruin Lisa Simpson, but the problem is, I think it's not her fault. She's being directed by a cokehead who's half drunk, and he's just pretty much just telling her to scream the whole time and
Can't
be
understand
obnoxious.
anything she's saying.
You can't because her voice is so high pitched, and you
Uh-huh.
just all it comes off is like nails on a chalkboard to me. And she's always complaining, even when they're being successful in the movie. And like
Right.
her name is Connie. She is a newlywed with her husband Curtis, and they're just driving around in the whole just married with the cans on the car and everything. And they need to stop and get gas, and they see the dead man or a dead man at a gas station, and they're just trying to make their way through North Carolina. And let's see here. We already talked about Deke and the sprinklers. Duncan wakes up to want to go look for Deke. Bubba threatens to fire him. And what happens is Duncan literally walks out, and as I think your text to me says, wow, that guy got squished. And it's literally just Duncan gets splattered on the grill of a truck. And now, again, if you didn't figure out, these people are stuck in the Dixie Boy, and they will have to get out of here safely somehow.
Sorry, I am taking you all with me as I let Teddy outside so he can stop barking.
That's okay. This is what we do when we film live, people. So now we have everybody but Deke and Connie and Curtis at the Dixie Boy. And the Bible man's there. He's still being a creep. He's trying to hawk his Bibles to somebody. And that's when, I don't know if it doesn't matter which truck it is, but the truck starts smashing the Bible man's car. And what I think is kind of interesting in this scene is he goes from trying to be this, even though he's a creeper, he's don't take the Lord's name in vain, this and that type of character, to now he's just cussing left and right when his car is destroyed. And as he gets out there, he is literally hit by the truck and literally knocked out of his shoes and sent into a ravine. And he's there for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even realize that's where he went. Like when later in the movie, and someone was yelling out stuff about Jesus and all this stuff. I'm like, where's that voice coming from? I had no idea, because I'm always, I used to pause and write stuff, but it seems like when I'm watching on certain apps, the more you pause, the more advertisements they throw in. So I kind of stopped pausing. Okay, so here's my off-topic comment was that none of these filming locations appear to be OSHA approved.
Yeah.
But that was before. Okay, now I know that the locations weren't already there. They were created, because I was like, how in the heck can they? I mean, I know they're not, really sitting on the toilet, I mean, and I could, that was okay. Another thing, like, how many nudie pictures can there be in this movie? Like, there's like full bush hanging on the wall, and it didn't even faze the kid, like when he goes in and wakes up the people and stuff. That's how tough we were back then.
That's right. We were a different breed in the 80s.
Yes, we were. But yeah, I was like, the scene where Emilio is supposed to be urinating and the other guy is sitting on the crapper.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh my God, how could you even touch anything? But I remember when I was making movies that we would go to some locations that were already, like a location. And at that time I was just like, it's just, it's all make believe. It's dirty. Sure, it's dirty, but I can go take a shower afterwards. But nowadays I would just be like, no, thanks.
Okay, so we're now at this written out. As much as we've been kind of picking on Stephen King for his addictions, he has a really cool shot where it's all the semi trucks are now circling the Dixie Boy. So again, that's a great way of showing everybody's trapped. And this is okay. We get more Connie. Curtis and Connie are being chased by a towing truck, and she's just yelling Curtis, like Agoraphobe said it right here. Oh my God. And you know what? He does enjoy Yeardley Smith in this. I can't find it, but he does say that she definitely has to yell Curtis 100 times in this movie.
What I was laughing at. That's what I was laughing at.
Yeah. And so they're being chased by a towing truck. They get out of the way. The towing truck goes off the road, and it's going to go down this giant incline, but before it even hits anything, it just happens to explode before it crashes. And I literally wrote Curtis and Connie chased by towing truck. Truck goes off the road, catches fire, explodes just because. So
clearly that did not make an impact on me, because my thing was, all the diesel trucks. I was just taking notes about like plot lines. I really tried this time.
No, it's fine.
Pick apart the movie because I know I do that in all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying something different, I guess.
That's okay, because the rest I have is literally I put just because, and then they drive towards the Dixie Boy because they want to call the cops because they're being chased. They don't realize that the trucks are driving themselves, and then they see the semi circling the Dixie Boy again.
Right.
Connie bitches again, and then Curtis tempts fate. He drives through the
He
circle,
drives through an opening. Yeah.
and he drives through the opening. He crashes. Connie continues to bitch, like, get me out of here, and she's blaming Curtis for everything. She's complaining about the seatbelt choking her. And then old Bubba shows up with a rocket launcher.
A rocket launcher.
Yeah, of all things, shows up with a rocket launcher and shoots that truck to high hell. So now...
I just wrote asshole boss.
Yeah.
Asshole boss.
Asshole boss with the rocket launcher. So now we know Bubba's definitely, because you mentioned the mob earlier, he's definitely a weapons dealer. We find that out when Emilio is talking to the guy on the toilet, that he's had a whole arsenal down in the basement. And this is where, like, I don't know how you felt your first time watching it, but I remember if someone doesn't know what's going on, if you think this movie is batshit crazy, now you got this arms dealer running this little truck stop, and now kids are getting crushed by steamrollers. This definitely explains why Stephen King wasn't in the right mind, because to me, I always pictured like he's sitting in his chair and he's got like a little board of pieces of paper and he's throwing darts at it. Like, okay, for this scene, we're going to have a kid hit by a steamroller. And in this scene, okay, we're going to have Bubba come out with a rocket launcher. And you have started to look into the fun factor, and you have started to, Melissa, suspend disbelief. Have you been able to do that with Maximum Overdrive, just how random this movie is becoming?
Yeah, I mean, everyday life is random. Kind of, like,
God bless you.
Things happen. You never know who you're going to bump into at the grocery store or at the gas station. I mean, yeah, I just kind of started thinking, well, why were the trucks picking this spot? Well, because they needed gas, but they didn't have a very good way of communicating that until later.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, that's right. Okay, green sky. Oh, they're talking. Oh, here's a little side note I wrote. If Emilio and the hitchhiker have sex, I'm done.
Well,
thank God they didn't show it on screen.
Yeah. Well, they started out with some really bad flirting. Like, she has a switchblade that she pulled out on the Bible salesman earlier. And I literally wrote bad flirting with Bill and Brett, because Bill literally says, if I put my arm around you, would you stick me with that thing?
And she says, no. Something like, the way to use it is you slice.
Yeah.
Isn't that what she said?
Something stupid
Something like that. Okay.
And that was your warning. Like, if they're gonna have sex, it's time to turn off the movie.
Well, that was the scene right there. I was like, if they have sex now, I'm done. And so they didn't show them on screen having sex, but I was just like, wow, they're get to know. Okay, here's where my mind was going during the whole thing with those two. I was like, because now I'm older, and people don't look at you as much as they did when you were younger, right? And it's a young people's world. I've come to realize this. And anyway, so I was like, okay, these two people, they're the two youngest, aside from the kid.
Right.
They're the two youngest in this group of people. So does that mean, like, automatically society says, okay, then those two people are going to now link up?
Right.
Like, there was no flirting, there was no getting to know you. Like, did they even know each other's names?
I doubt it.
The next scene is like their feet touching, and she's like, you make love like a king or
oh
hero.
Yeah, hold on. I got it written down. Yeah. Yeah, we'll jump ahead. I literally wrote Billy and Brett bang. Apparently Billy makes love like a hero, and then he's telling her he's got a plan because he's now figuring out, the machines are alive, blah blah blah, and he knows he wants to go to the marina where he has a sailboat where they're going to take to a town called Haven, which is a Stephen King town in his little universe. And then Brett says this really fucking stupid line. So you're not only a hero, but you're also a genius. And for you people listening on audio, Melissa rolled her eyes so far back in her head, I think it touched her brain. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So that
what
happened.
do I got? Yeah. We had a scene where Deke sees the broken truck from Connie and Curtis, and then a plane flies over him to Ride of the Valkyries, and then we have the after effects of the sex scene, and he makes love like a hero. And this, okay, if it's not
song, was that the only song in the soundtrack that was not a Kiss song?
Or AC/DC, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
AC/DC.
You're still thinking of the Phantom. Yeah, yes. That was the only thing that was not AC/DC. Did you notice during the opening sequence on the bridge with the watermelons and everything that one of the vehicles being destroyed was an AC/DC tour bus?
Yes. Tour bus. It was like a hippie bus. It was a Volkswagen bus, Beetle bus, and it had two stoners inside of it. So I was a little confused. I was like, are we hippies or are we metal?
Shout out to Keith in the chat. Keith says Gorfo makes love like a hero. That was a mental picture I could have done without. Yeah, we all could
have. So now they're okay. So is this where they discover? Okay, so the small plane goes after the kid on the bike, and now, so Emilio and the hitchhiker discover weapons in the basement, and then Bubba threatens to call the North Carolina State Police because, as we mentioned earlier, Emilio is a parolee.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the whatever is threatening him to. The boss is still worried about his little world.
Yeah. Well, he's got two dead bodies in the. You got two dead bodies in the basement. And, without
taking into account like the whole world is going through this, and it's the survival of the fittest, and he's worried about people finding out that he has weapons and ammo in his basement, instead of using them to survive.
Yeah.
So then the sky is green. Okay, then the waitress is drunk and pissed and starts yelling at the semis.
This is if. As much as I was shitting on Yeardley Smith earlier, I'm not a fan of Wanda June either. And this is where we have her little mental breakdown where she goes out front and she yells, "You can't do this. We made you. Who made who?" The usual. She's singing the AC/DC song, basically. She goes nuts. And again, it's one of those, I think it's the fault of the director. And, all again, picking on Stephen King aside, he was also a first-time director. He's not a director. He's a writer. So it's not for everybody. And I think he could have told her to tone it down just a little bit. You know what I mean? To make a shout out to our Spinal Tap episode. She was at an 11. You know what I mean? She cranked it up to 11, and she could have maybe gone down to a 7, in my opinion.
It kind of reminded me. Now, I never saw this movie, but I did see the trailers. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
That was Jennifer Love Hewitt when she was still younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and she goes outside and she runs and shows her boobs, and
yep.
She's like, "What do you want?" Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It kind of reminded me of that.
I have a question. Yeah.
Thank you. Usually during these episodes, my tablet is filled with whys.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a why.
Okay.
I have a why here. How come there are no passenger cars out of control? Why are they only semi-trucks and big machinery?
That's a good point. We only really see semi-trucks. We don't really see or tow trucks or steamrollers or
right. Which technically, do steamrollers and tractors have a maximum overdrive? because back then the cars did, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was one of the, on the panel,
Mm-hmm.
the shifting panel was overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
which now I guess maybe it's just called something else now.
Yeah, that I have no idea.
Anyway, so
So Wanda June has her little breakdown, the lights go out, and then we just have this montage of everybody talking. Curtis and Connie are giggling in the corner, and
I
she's
thought they were
saying,
having sex or something.
well, see, that's I wrote that down. I said she's giggling, they're covered up with a blanket, something's moving underneath there. They might not be able to have sex on their wedding night, but they're definitely, Curtis is, definitely doing something to her. And the way she's sweet and innocent, she's really giggling, a lot. So I have that. Lights go out. Curtis is fingering Connie. And then the Bible man breaks up, their honeymoon because he starts moaning and screaming. And this is where Curtis and Billy, Emilio, decide they're going to play hero to save him. And this is where we get this whole montage for those about to rock. Again, another AC/DC song. And they're crawling through the sewers because they know there's a drainage pipe that they have to get, that they can get to him and bring him back.
Okay, I have a thing to say.
Please.
So, while that scene was taking place with Curtis and Connie, and they were sitting in the booth, and the table is moving and all that other stuff, and then they, cut to a different angle, or whatever, people, and then they hear someone yelling out about Jesus. I thought it was Curtis having an, coming to completion.
Yeah.
Because they definitely seemed like virgins, and they, it was their wedding day, and all that. So like
Curtis had his maximum overdrive, is what it was.
Yeah, Curtis had his maximum overdrive. I seriously thought that's what it was. I was so confused. I'm like, who's screaming? Like, why do they sound like that? And so,
good Lord.
Yeah. Anyway.
So they're having a little. I like this scene with the two guys in the sewer was fun. They were arguing with each other. They were dealing with rats, and then Deke finds the Bible man. He finds the Bible man. The Bible man leaps up, grabs Deke, does the whole "I'm dying" guttural noise.
Was he saying like "move me, move me," or something?
Move me, or help me, or something like that? And that's where Bill and Curtis come out. They find Deke, and they run across. What is it? They almost get crushed by a truck, and they run into the drain pipe, and they decide not to tell Deke his father is dead. And Bill decides to kill a truck with a rocket launcher, and then they tell Deke about his dad, and Deke has his little. You know what? When Deke found out his dad was dead, I figured he would have taken it a lot harder than this kid did. To me, he just kind of had a little bit of fake crocodile tears and kind of shrugged it off.
Right. Well, so did the hitchhiker when she was supposedly crying during the scene with the knife and everything, and she was just like, I'm just so angry or whatever. Yeah. There was no tears there.
No.
But we could say, it was according to the thermostat that they showed in the movie, it was 90 degrees, so tears evaporated.
Hey, if that makes it work for you, go for it. So we're at the next day, and then if it wasn't bad enough that we're seeing kids getting crushed by random things, that just happen to be by a little league game, random. We have a military car come down, a flatbed Jeep with a semi-automatic weapon, and that is outside the Dixie Boy. There's a plow truck who pushes Bubba's car through the wall, and this is where Bubba gets pissed. He uses a rocket launcher because of all things, people dying around him. He's more worried about people, leaving work early when they've been blinded by gasoline. He's finally pissed because his car is pushed through a wall. Bubba uses a rocket launcher. He's killed by this machine gun, and then the machine gun also kills a couple of more characters that we don't even know their names. I don't even think they've said a line in the movie, so it's just to up the body count. And that's when Wanda June God bless her. She has her other meltdown. She goes out with the rocket launcher, does her usual "We made you" speech. She is taken out. But as she is taken out, she shoots the rocket launcher and she's able to kill like a beer truck. So she is able to take one of them down before she dies.
Yay, Wanda. That's a hero.
That's right. You know what? She you can see right there on her arm. She was wounded by a carving knife. So that doesn't stop her. She will take out a Miller. I think it was Miller High Life. I have it written down. And you mentioned earlier. This is where they can't communicate, and then the cars start honking their horns in Morse code.
Right. Well, really, to back up just a tiny bit,
Sure.
when it showed the tractor and that military vehicle coming down the highway, you could practically see the cord that they were using to pull the military vehicle. Because all the other ones, it's like some driver dressed in black
Right.
or with a black hood on, because you could kind of see the profile of people, but suspending disbelief.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
But this little freaking thing that if it didn't have the semi-automatic weapon on it, it would look just silly. It's like this
Yes.
little cart just
Yep.
rolling down the highway.
JT says the worst part about the movie is taking out the beer truck, and I am a Miller High Life man myself. So yes, I was upset as well, JT. But Wanda's taken out. They're doing Morse code, and Deke, he was in Boy Scouts. He's able to decipher it, and what they're basically saying is the trucks and the vehicles, they need gas, and they turn the power back on, and this is where.
Well, they say if you fuel us up, someone needs to fuel us up, and no one will get hurt, basically.
Yeah, during this situation when they're out there fueling everything up.
Right. Okay.
Which makes me wonder, though, was there a gas tank on the machine gun Jeep or whatever it was? Because, like you said, I mean, I'm sure, like in the story, there was supposed to be one, but you said it was obviously being pulled because it had you couldn't see a driver. But when I was looking at it, I didn't see whether it was made like just for the movie or not. Whether there was a place to put the gas in that one, so that just made me think.
That's a good point. Was that something that a military person would have to answer that question? Yeah. Was that a type of contraption that's used behind another vehicle? Sorry, I'm adjusting my pillow.
No, you're fine. They turn the power back on. Bill tells the Green Goblin truck that the fuel lines are now open, and it's like pure uncut cocaine for you.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Yeah, it was. No, he didn't say cocaine.
No?
He just said it was pure uncut.
Oh, okay. Well, either way.
I said Emilio uses cocaine lingo to talk to the toys truck.
Maybe Emilio knew if he said the word cocaine, it would have distracted Steven behind the camera. And is it just me? Like, I've seen a lot of Emilio Estevez movies growing up. Like, is this like he doesn't? Why does he have to have that gravelly voice in this movie? He's like he doesn't normally speak like that, and like he's really trying to sound tough to the Green Goblin truck. He's trying to sound tough to the hitchhiker, even though they've already had sex. I don't get, again, the direction of why he has to have like this gravelly voice, and it's kind of, again, like you did the eye roll earlier. It's kind of having me eye roll with him. I get he's trying to be the tough guy, and not that too.
He's little.
I was just gonna say, looking at him, like he doesn't really come off as a tough guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's little, so he's got to toughen up his voice.
So we have this. I literally timed it. We have this 3-minute long scene to AC/DC's Hell's Bells, and it's just everybody filling up the trucks with diesel fuel, sweating, getting tired, getting blisters. Now we know, it's like you said, it's like 90 plus degrees out, but still, it's 3 minutes long of them filling up the tanks. And then now they're out of diesel. The trucks are pissed. And this is where.
Wait, they send in a fuel truck.
That's right.
Fill the tanks.
Yep.
Yeah. But I was like, still they're not going to have enough fuel to fill up all of those trucks. Like,
Yeah.
you saw the line. That was before CGI.
Yeah. They had a line of trucks coming in to the Dixie Boy. And then again, I talked about how Emilio's got to be tough. He has this big, tough, like, doesn't he look so macho right there, standing next to that fucking Green Goblin truck, just trying to threaten it and stuff like that.
And
And
this was post The Outsiders, right?
yes.
So yeah, I think he was probably still working that greaser. Well, maybe not, because this is right before.
I think this was before Young Guns, but I think it was after St. Elmo's Fire and Breakfast Club. It was around that time.
No. It's no, Breakfast Club was after 16 Candles, and that came out when I was 6. So yeah, this is earlier than St. Elmo's Fire and Breakfast Club.
Okay.
But definitely after The Outsiders.
Yes, definitely after The Outsiders. And so Bill is kind of having heat stroke, and he's talking to Bret, and he's like, what if, I wrote this down, it was really hard to understand. He's like, what if it's aliens and they're looking for a new place to live, and they're sending interstellar cleaners to clean out their new place to live, and that's what is inhabiting these trucks. And I'm like, I think it would have been a lot easier just to understand that the trucks have come to life, instead of saying that like aliens are possibly sending out little minions to clean out the human race so they can live there. But I also attribute that to the heat stroke and, of course, King's writing.
Yeah, because like they didn't really latch on to that story very much, did they?
And I was busy staring the whole time, because King has got this really close-up shot on Emilio, and I'm just trying to see, like, it looks like he's wearing eyeliner for some reason, or eyeshadow, and I'm like, he's already trying to be macho, and then you throw eyeliner on him. I don't know. But Bill comes up with a really good idea. He now knows, obviously, that Bubba has an arsenal in the basement, and I don't know who helps him, but he distracts the machine gun. He spins it around. It's spinning around so they can run where they need to go, and he throws a grenade on it, which blows it up. And it's this one scene where him and whoever helped him, they're literally doing a duck and cover, and it's a camera shot right on their butts. And Bret literally walks in, and she says, "That's like something you don't see from two heroes ever." So is
their ass in the air?
Yeah, their butts in the air, like little kids. Like I said, when you did your tornado drills in school and stuff like that. Thank you, John. Breakfast Club was 84, so you're right. This is after Breakfast Club.
Oh, really? Yeah. God, I'm shocked.
Yeah, because this was 86.
Okay.
So we're finally at the finale. This is where the trucks are finally, after an hour and 15 minutes, they finally decide to just say fuck it and start going through the Dixie Boy and taking it out. And as everybody's escaping, I don't know what happens. Like, I think one of the trucks has gasoline on the back of it, which causes an explosion. The Dixie Boy is blown up, and you see that they have 1 mile to walk to the marina. Mm-hmm. And they are being followed by the Happy Toys truck, which is the Green Goblin. And this is another kind of a fun, cheesy scene. Is when they're halfway there, they get to like this generic McDonald's, and I like, as they're hiding, the drive-through menu starts speaking and like saying humans are here. Humans are here. Yeah. So that was a little fun thing. And then Deke finally gets to do something. He says, this is for my dad. He's got a machine gun, and he blows up the drive-through menu. So I thought that was kind of fun. That kind of cheese actually worked for the movie for me. So I liked that little scene. Gives him something to do other than just being the kid in the background.
Right. Well, it kind of reminds me of any Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or whatever movie. They've always got at least one cheesy line to say as they're shooting things.
Yeah, he got to have his one-liner. All right.
So they're all running towards the marina, and I put in parentheses, I guess boats aren't affected either.
Yeah,
just passenger vehicles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if they don't, yeah, because it wasn't the only boat there. There were speedboats and stuff, and with motors that could have been affected, but Yeah, that's a good point. Why weren't the other boats going around acting crazy? Who
Yeah.
knows?
And so anyway, so one of the survivors notices a dead lady with her
Yes.
hand hanging out with a sparkly, spangly ring that
Yeah.
looked cheap, if you ask me. But he decided
They're right there, but yeah, go ahead.
he decided that it was worth stealing, and I guess this was where the made me wonder what exactly was the motivation of the semi trucks, because then da, 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 there's the Happy Toys truck, the
Hmm.
Green Goblin, uh, revving right there, and smashes the guy that
Yeah.
stole the ring.
Hmm.
So
It,
anyway,
it's just one of those. It was one of those things. I'm like, you dumb shit. You're literally right there, and you're gonna steal a diamond. Well, according to you, a cheap diamond ring, and yep, you go splat. So that happens. They find the boat. Dumbass steals a ring. I wrote squish. Um, Brett and Curtis. Curtis finally gets something to do. Brett and Curtis, they kill the ice cream truck, which is a cool scene. And then Bill again gets to do his macho thing. He gets to, and he has his Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger moment. He fires a rocket into the Green Goblin truck, blows it up, and then I literally wrote, okay, they find the boat. Dumbass steals a ring. Squish. Bill kills the truck. They sail away to AC/DC's Who Made Who, and Connie is bitching yet again.
yeah. And I was wondering, how are they going to feed all these people?
Yeah, I don't know if they said how far away Haven is, how long it's going to take them to get there.
I thought it wasn't just like a 3 mile, a three, a 3 mile distance from the mainland to this island.
It could have been. I honestly, by this
I
point, I
don't,
wasn't
I
paying
don't know.
attention.
Yeah, I was
They,
busy going, oh, it's like Catalina, I guess. Okay.
JT says Bill couldn't even get the rope loose on the dock, so I guess his hero moment is taken away.
Yeah, I know that I was like, it's literally, it looks like it's made out of silk. Like
Mm-hmm.
it, and he cheats and cuts it. Anyway, yeah, what a hero.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it
I
literally, like I said, it ends to Who Made Who, which is my favorite AC/DC song. I will say that, but it's the rest of it is just Connie bitching and talking about how she gets seasick. She literally says, "I'm going to toss my cookies." She's cussing out Curtis, and I'm praying before they get to Haven, he tosses her overboard. It's just one of those situations. And then we have this ending scroll, which just says basically 6 days later, everything's back to normal because we're no longer in the comet's tail. The end.
right, and I was like,
So,
thank God.
so that's it. Melissa, that is Maximum
Ta-da!
Overdrive. Before you give your score and favorite scene overall, what would you want to say about this experience with Maximum Overdrive? Was it a Leprechaun experience? Was it a Troll 2 experience? Was it somewhere in between?
It was like a leprechaun experience. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, and then I thought, as it's over, I like the ones that end funny.
Mm,
You're bitching about her bitching, but I was like, well, that puts a little comedy relief in it, and it's no longer a horror movie. But I was like, how are all these people going to stay on this little tiny boat together? Like, I felt like the boat was going to tip over. But
uh-huh.
I thought it was, you know, it was silly.
Mm.
It was
Like
it
Barb,
was
like Barb says, if nothing else, you got to admit it's entertaining.
yeah, it was exactly. It was
Mhm.
there was a lot of fake blood for a silly movie. That's kind
Yeah.
of how I saw it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Me.
silly
This is.
silly characters, stereotypical characters, silly characters, over the top,
Yeah.
silly.
Me personally, I've seen this movie. I couldn't tell you how many times. I personally do not think it deserves the "it's one of the worst movies of all time" title that it always gets. Like when people go to name bad movies, and not like bad fun movies, because you can have fun with a bad movie. Troll
Hmm.
2. You enjoyed Troll 2. Uh, I don't think Maximum Overdrive at least deserves that. It is not a well-made movie in some parts, but Stephen King, God bless him, he can use a camera sometimes. He's just not good at directing people, in my opinion. But that notwithstanding, saying I'm going to give this one based on the enjoyment factor, like Barb said. I'm giving this 3.5 evil electric carving knives. So, so well, you can think of whatever you want, and if you want to use the same thing, that's fine. I did 3.5, and then my favorite scene, like I said, was Deke having to deal with the sprinklers, playing tricks on him when he's going down the sidewalk. So that is me. Melissa, what are you giving and your favorite scene to Maximum Overdrive?
I'm rating it 3
Oh wow, okay.
cigarette machines.
Okay.
I don't know, because that just seems funny. 3 cigarette machines. And what was my favorite scene besides the end?
You were able to find one with Leprechaun. You can find one with the Maximum Overdrive.
I'll go ahead and say when the waitress gets mouthy and tells off the trucks, and then they shoot her. But she also gets a good one in, though.
All right,
That's a hero. That's the hero move.
That's what we should have had, Emilio. You know what I mean? Instead of your gravelly voice. So this was a fun experience. For our next episode, did you have something picked? Because if not, because I know you've had some stuff going on, I do have something as a backup plan if you were not able to pick something.
As of the other day, whatever I was probably going to pick I don't remember now, but as of the other day, I've decided to stick with really bad, and I'm going to go with Rock and Roll Zombies.
Oh God. Would you like to explain why you're picking Rock and Roll Zombies and why I just said what I said? How you found out about it? Because I never knew this movie existed.
Me either. My friend Shelly, who also recommended Leprechaun, he likes to send me just little things with no explanation. Like through TikTok or Instagram or something. And it'll either be like dog related, it'll be goth related, because a long time ago I was goth. Well, if there was a goth club to go to, I'd probably still go. Okay. I was goth, and I like the gloom and doom music, or he'll send me like he calls it Melissa Tech. Things that little hats that can blow away mosquitoes or something. And then the random stupid like horror film. And so he sends me this thing, no explanation. So I figured, is this his way of suggesting maybe we should watch this movie? Okay. It looks so.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me. My earbud just. Okay. It looks so bad. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to stomach the movie, but I think it's why not? That's what the name of our show is, called Watch What Now? Like, what the fuck did you make me watch? So let's go ahead and put that in there. You can veto me if you like.
Oh no. No, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it. But so it's called Hard Rock Zombies. It is on Tubi for anyone who wants to prepare with us. Yeah, we don't want to watch this, for nothing. But I will read I never heard of it. It says Hard Rock Zombies is a bizarre 1985 horror comedy film about a heavy metal band that is murdered by a cult in a small town, only be resurrected as zombies by a girl named Cassie to get revenge. It's known for its strange mix of music, over-the-top violence, and outlandish characters. Oh, I'm not including a werewolf And I'm not reading the rest of that because I don't want it spoiled. Thanks,
Actually,
Shelley.
yeah, actually, some of the characters do nauseate me, which I forgot about until just now, but I've already opened my mouth and made the decision, so that's what we're going with.
All right, we're going with Hard Rock
Hard Rock
Zombies.
Zombies.
God willing, in 2 weeks. We also, if anyone is still listening, we'll get through this real quick. We are coming up on episode 20. And like we did with episode 10, we had a poll on YouTube, and everyone picked Halloween. We thought this would be fun. You actually came up with the idea. What we're going to do is anyone listening or watching the replay, you can first off, please like the Facebook page and the Instagram page for Watch What Now, and go to the Facebook page, and in the comment section of this video, you can pick something from our coming soon folder and write that in the comments below on this actual video. I myself will make a video on the Watch What Now Instagram page. Melissa will make a video sometime down the line on her own personal Instagram page. And you can comment there as well. But we have decided that we're going to pick those videos that are suggested. They have to be from the coming soon folder. And what we're going to do is Melissa will write down what is said in her Instagram video. I will write down what is said in my Instagram video, as well as this video here. We will take those suggestions. We will put them in a hat. I will be pulling, I will pull a name out of one of my hats, and then Melissa on her end will pull a name out. And the last two, so one in my hat, one in Melissa's hat, the last two standing will be chosen for a poll.
Wait, the last two standing?
Yeah.
We had so many different incarnations of this idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Last two standing.
So, that's what I get. Like, so I thought, like, that's how we could have the poll. Like, the last one that's in my hat goes against the last one that's in your hat, and then they can decide on YouTube which one we're stuck with for episode 20, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I have to go back and look through our idea exchange.
Okay.
Because there was a way that we discussed it so that a way to like prove that we're really pulling the name out, that we're claiming to pull out, that it was a lot more participant interactive.
Okay.
Well, but we'll just say step one.
Okay.
Step one of the multi-step process is submit your ideas.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll say this. Comment on this video, and then when me and Melissa make our own videos, comment on those videos of a movie you would like us to discuss for episode 20.
Yeah.
We will take those choices and somehow put that.
Yeah, we have to go back. We have to go back through our text exchange to see how, because we were both like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea." Because I was like, and then. Yeah. That's how we get when Melissa has some downtime and I'm bored at work. That's what we're doing. So, but we thought that would be fun. And we'll say this, JT, we have not done Killer Clowns from Outer Space yet. I don't even know if Melissa knows that is a movie that exists. But after this live stream is over, if you would like to put Killer Clowns from Outer Space in the comment section, I will write that down and we will add that to our multi-part participation episode 20 thing that we're talking about. So right. Yeah. So it's good that you're starting early, because then next episode we'll discuss what the next step is.
Yeah. So basically what's going to happen, though, I know by episode 19, we will decide somehow how to have the YouTube poll, because we do this every 2 weeks, and then we'll figure out how to go from there, and we'll make an announcement for episode 20. It's late, guys. We're both tired. We just watched Maximum Overdrive. So, but with that, episode 16 is in the bag. We have Hard Rock Zombies for episode 17.
I can't believe that
Hey,
I'm sorry. I'm just going to say I'm sorry.
No, all I'm going to say is it's very rare that Melissa texts me in the morning before I go to work. And I got an Instagram reel, and I knew it was going to be something, air quotes, bad. And it's Hard Rock Zombies.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I have no idea. I've never heard of it. So I said, well, it's going on the list. You know that, right? So you shot yourself in the foot. But we will definitely be doing Hard Rock Zombies for episode 17 in 2
God.
weeks. And then we'll try to figure out how we can get you guys to do episode 20. I'm rambling. I've repeated myself many times.
Okay. 9
So with
p.m.
that-
my time.
That's right. It's bedtime. We're getting out of here. You got
Bedtime.
dogs to take care of.
Yes.
I'm Eric. That's Melissa. We're out.
We're out. Good night. Adopt,
night,
don't shop.
Adopt, don't shop. That's right. All right. Now we're out. Good night,
Okay.
everybody.